People say the story ended when the January 14th vote passed. That's backwards. The vote was the start of the institutional chapter. The January 14th shareholder vote cleared a huge governance hurdle that institutions usually demand before they place large, long-term treasury bets. That helps explain why the real institutional move may be starting now, not ending. Bitmine, Bmnr, has been aggressively building an ETH treasury, now millions of ETH, and increasing its staked ETH and Maven validator infrastructure. That's the balance sheet engine that institutional allocators want exposure to. Recent company releases show ETH holdings in the millions and total crypto plus cash reserves in the billions. Big-name strategists, Tom Lee, Cathie Wood, have shifted public narratives toward Ethereum as infrastructure, which frames companies like Bmnr as potential institutional proxies for ETH exposure, similar to how MicroStrategy became the Bitcoin proxy. Rewind, what Tom Lee and Cathie Wood actually said, October frame. In October, ARK Invest hosted a conversation that pushed a clear thesis. Ethereum is not just altcoin, it's a programmable settlement layer that can host stablecoins, tokenization, DeFi, and payments, and therefore it can become the backbone of institutional finance. Tom Lee argued ETH could flip Bitcoin as the principal institutional ledger as tokenization scales. Cathie would reinforce the idea that Layer 2s and custodial rails being built on Ethereum make it a natural institutional base layer. This isn't short-term price speculation, the argument is structural, Ethereum as financial infrastructure. Why that matters for Bmnr? If institutional allocators start to prefer exposure to the protocol that underpins settlement, tokenization, and yield, staking, firms that provide equity market access to that exposure, and which also operate the validators and staking rails, become uniquely positioned. Bmnr describes itself as precisely that, an institutional ETH Treasury Plus staking infrastructure vehicle. The January 14th vote, the thing most people misread. What happened on January 14th? Shareholders voted to expand the company's authorized shares and approve updated strategy proposals, a governance step that gives management flexibility to execute treasury expansion and capital raises to accumulate ETH. The vote passed with wide support, a classic signal institutions watch before moving big dollars. That's because institutions hate strategy ambiguity. They like clear corporate governance, predictable balance sheet policies, and the legal ability of a company to act. The vote removed a key blocker. Most commentary treated the vote as an end. The better read, it's the green flag for execution. Think of it like zoning approval for a skyscraper. Passing the zoning doesn't finish construction, it just starts the institutional parts of the project. By the way, if you are getting value from this video so far and want more like this, please like the video, it means much to us, and hit the subscribe button, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. What Bmnr actually owns and why the balance sheet matters. Bmnr's PR and filings show it's more than talk. Recent disclosures report millions of ETH on the balance sheet, numbers that have been progressing quarter to quarter. Company releases and journalism roundups show ETH holdings measured in the multi-millions and total crypto plus cash assets in the multi-billion USD range. That's not a side project, that's a treasury transformation. Examples of recent PR updates flag ETH holdings over 4 million tokens and total crypto plus cash assets in the $12 to $14 billion band. Why that's important? When a public company moves from being valued as an operating tech firm to being, partly, a balance sheet play on a digital asset, the basis for valuation shifts. Suddenly investors are valuing the company by both NAV, token time spot, and the optionality/earnings produced by staking and validator services. The recent buys, 40,302 ETH, and the momentum story. In late January, Bmnr disclosed another sizable accumulation, 40,302 ETH purchased in one trading window, which was widely reported by crypto and financial press as the largest weekly buy for the company in that period. Combined with earlier buys, the company's ETH total expanded meaningfully. That kind of purchase cadence signals a commitment to growth of the ETH treasury rather than opportunistic dabbling. This isn't a retail buyer grabbing a single loaf at the store, it's a grocery chain locking in a weekly supply contract. Institutional players prefer secured supply. Staked ETH, Maven, and the income engine. Bmnr has more than one lever. It's not just buying ETH, it's staking some of it to earn yield. Public filings and company statements show staked ETH figures in the millions and mention a proprietary validator network, MAVN, Made in America Validator Network, intended to run at scale and capture staking rewards. At scale, management cites staking income potential in the hundreds of millions annually, a conversion of volatile token value into a recurring, more predictable revenue stream. Why that matters for investors: NAV is volatile, ETH price swings. Staking rewards are cash flows. If Bmnr proves it can reliably run validators at high uptime, part of the story becomes infrastructure income rather than crypto spec. That's the difference between a narrative meme stock and an income asset with a story. Institutional adoption thesis. Why Bmnr can be an institutional proxy. Two institutional concerns when deploying large crypto allocations: governance, is the company legal and able to act? And operational custody, is the staking/custody robust and compliant? The January 14th vote improves governance clarity. MAVN and staking disclosures speak to operations. Combine that with public intellectual capital, Tom Lee and Kathy Wood publicly aligning on ETH's institutional role, and you've got the necessary narrative and governance varnish investors look for before allocating tens or hundreds of millions. So, in one sentence, Bmnr could become for ETH what MicroStrategy became for Bitcoin, an equity market vehicle whose price moves are tied to institutional adoption trajectories rather than daily retail noise. So why hasn't Bmnr re-rated yet? Good question. Several reasons. Institutions are slow. They wait for repeated proof points: vote execution, audited treasury updates, operational uptime. That takes quarters, not days. Regulatory clarity is pending. Many allocators want a clearer legal framework before they allocate large funds. The Clarity Act and similar legislative efforts are the backdrop. If Congress passes technology-friendly market structure rules, institutions will have less legal fear about allocation. Dilution anxiety. Bmnr has asked for additional authorized shares to fund purchases. Some investors fear dilution. Management must show discipline on issuance and demonstrate that purchases are accretive on a per-share basis. Price versus execution mismatch. Even with the vote, the market often waits for demonstrated staking payouts and audited treasury figures before awarding a higher multiple. Translation: the vote was the green flag, but the train still needs to demonstrate it can reach the station on schedule. Analyst price target coverage and average target summaries. Example: aggregated analyst average reported $76.50 in some media summaries. Note this as well. God tells us in Daniel 7 verses 25-27 that, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him." Want more information about the books of prophecy? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: "I stayed until the end." Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe, and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage us to continue bringing to you more insightful videos. Do not miss out on our future videos. All I am asking is your subscription. Thank you for joining me today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's love.